Hi, welcome back to my story time with Nana. There's only 3 stories left, including tonight's. The family is almost home. I'm so excited. Let's begin. Here we go. Chapter 8. Elizabeth, James, and Kathleen enjoyed their week at Smoky the Bear campground. Being up so high in the Smoky Mountains in the fall was amazing. The leaves changing and the night sky filled with so many stars were the most amazing thing of all. They were forever changed by the beauty of the mountains. I have a feeling this trip has taught our children a lot, Mommy told Daddy the night before they left the Great Smoky Mountains. Well, it certainly brought them closer together, he said, giving her a hug. True, we really have given them a great experience, Mommy said, hugging him back. Let's turn in. I can't wait for tomorrow's adventure. Let's move. Let's shake. Let's go out and investigate. Daddy called out into the children's bedroom. Already? James said sleepily. I love it here, Elizabeth cried out. Do we have to leave? Yes, we do, Daddy said. We have 2 more adventures before we move into our new home. Aren't you ready to get settled down? I'm not, Kathleen answered. I could live here in the mountains forever. Trust me, you will love our next adventure, he answered. Up and at 'em, kiddos. Mommy's making dippy eggs for breakfast. Dippy eggs are my favorite, Elizabeth said, jumping from her bed. The children ran to the kitchen and Mommy had breakfast on the table. By the time they finished breakfast, the children were excited about their new adventure. Where to next, Daddy? James asked. Georgia. It's the peach state, but they're out of season right now, Daddy told him. Don't worry, though. I have plans. The children were a little sad leaving the Smoky Mountains, but were excited about their next adventure. A few hours later, Daddy started singing, Here we go! Here we go! He turned into their next home for the week, Little River RV Park. Not to be confused with the Little River Band, he said, winking at Mommy. Who's the Little River Band? Asked Kathleen. Just a band, Mommy said. I suppose we'll be reminiscing about this place after we leave, she grinned. I suppose we will, Daddy said. He pulled up to the gatehouse and checked in, and they pulled into the park. We're at the base of Lookout Mountain, so you all better look out. Oh, Daddy, you are so funny, Jane said. What are we looking out for? A good time, of course. Daddy pulled into their sight and the family began the ritual of setting up. It was getting cooler now, so they all had put on sweatshirts and went for a walk around the park to see what there was to see what there was to do. They walked past an empty swimming pool. It was pretty cool outside, but the playground was full of laughing children. There was a fishing pond, and a couple of families were even set up with their fishing poles. They passed a pavilion that had a stage, and behind the pavilion they found the camp store. Just like every other camp store they had been in, the place had everything you needed. Clothes, food, snacks, wood, gifts. I mean, they had everything. Hey, look at this, Elizabeth said, pointing to a flyer on the bulletin board. Music lessons, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. Wow! Do you think we could take some lessons, Daddy? Asked James. Now that we have some instruments. I certainly think we can check into it, Daddy told the children. Take one of the tabs off the bottom of the flyer. We can call when we get back to the campsite. Elizabeth pulled off one of the tabs with a phone number and a name. Mr. Nelson. That sounds like a good name. She handed the tab to Daddy, where he stuffed it in his pocket. How about we get some sandwiches and head back to the campsite, Mommy said. We can build a fire. That sounds great. I'll go order the sandwiches. Why don't you all go outside and explore? I'll meet you at the pavilion. Daddy and the children walked out of the store and over to the pavilion. There were a few children playing tag. Hi, can we play? Asked James. Sure, a little girl told him. Stuart is it. He's the one in the red sweatshirt. Don't let him catch you, she yelled, running away laughing. Ah, the children yelled, running from Stuart. He was fast, though. Tag, you're it, he said, touching Kathleen's shoulder. Kathleen quickly turned and began chasing a boy in a blue jacket and blue and white baseball cap. Tag, you're it, she yelled, tapping his baseball cap. The children ran and ran, chasing each other, and Mommy could hear all the Tag, you're it as she was walking from the store with their sandwiches to the pavilion. That and all the children laughing. Kathleen, James, Elizabeth, it's time to eat, she called out. Oh, do we have to? Asked Elizabeth. We're having so much fun. I suppose it's cool enough outside, she answered. 15 more minutes, and then you and Daddy head back to the campsite. I'll go set up lunch. Yay! They yelled, running back into the grassy area, trying to stay away from a little girl with pigtails and a pink fluffy sweater. As Mommy turned to walk away, she heard, Tag, you're it, and more laughing children. It was going to be a great home for the next week. Hey, what's this? James asked, pointing to another flyer on one of the pavilion's posts. Oh, that's the music festival, Stuart told him. Everyone's allowed to participate. Can you play an instrument? Well, I have a guitar, but I haven't had any lessons yet. Oh, we all meet with Mr. Nelson for lessons. Hey, Daddy, yelled out Kathleen. Can we take lessons and be part of the music festival? Daddy walked over and read the flyer up on the pavilion. Sure, I don't see why not, he answered. Why don't we head back to the campsite and talk to Mommy about it? Okay. See you later, Stuart, Elizabeth said. We're going to go practice. See you later at Mr. Nelson's cabin. The children said goodbye, and the Halloways walked back to their site to tell Mommy about the festival. Well, it sounds like a fun thing to do, Mommy said, setting plates on the kitchen table. What time are the lessons? 4 o'clock, Daddy answered. These sandwiches look great. He took a big bite. Nom, nom, nom. So for the next week, the children took lessons with Mr. Nelson. The Halloway family still had time to visit a railroad museum, a beautiful waterfall, a flea market, and no, they didn't sell fleas there. And they even went to a glass blowing class and made their very own ornaments. It was a very busy week. The children were pretty hush-hush about their lessons with Mr. Nelson. They couldn't wait to surprise their parents with how well their lessons were going. The music festival was tomorrow night, and they were very, very excited. So, are you ready for tomorrow? Daddy asked the children. They had just finished dinner and were relaxing around the campfire. I'm ready, said Elizabeth, and James and Kathleen are quite good. Wait till you hear us tomorrow. Are you going to be playing a song together? Mommy asked. No questions, Mommy. You'll have to wait and see. Oh, I see how it is, Mommy said with a smile. Well, then how about some hot cocoa with marshmallows instead of any questions? Yay! The children cried out. The family sat near the fire and enjoyed their hot cocoa. It was getting much cooler at night, and later, Mommy brought out heavier blankets and snuggled the children into bed. I can't wait for tomorrow's concert, she said, kissing the children's foreheads. Sweet dreams. Good night, Mommy, they answered. They fell asleep quickly. They were so excited about tomorrow. Good morning, Mommy sang into the children's bedroom. Time to wake up. Brr, it's cold in here, Kathleen said. I know. Put a sweatshirt on, Mommy said. I made oatmeal for breakfast. With all the extras? Asked James. With all the extras. Hop to it. The children got out of bed and put on sweatshirts and met their parents in the kitchen. Mommy had bowls of oatmeal set at their places and bowls of raisins, shredded coconut, chopped pecans, sunflower seeds, chocolate morsels, cut up apples, and sliced bananas and fresh cream, all in the middle of the table. This was the children's favorite thing about oatmeal. All the extras. The family sat and fixed their own oatmeal with all their favorites and warmed up quickly. Go get dressed, Daddy told the children. We're going to go hiking this morning before you have to head over for your final practice for tonight. Yippee, yelled James. I love the woods. The Halloway family hiked for several hours, collecting birds, their new hobby. And then they headed back to the campsite to get ready for the festival. The children were getting more and more excited. Okay, well, we'll see you there, Daddy said as the children were leaving. Break a leg. What? Elizabeth exclaimed. You want us to break a leg? No, we answered. It's just an expression for the theater. It means good luck. Oh, you made me nervous at first, Daddy. We'll see you later, said Kathleen. At 4:00, Mommy and Daddy walked to the pavilion carrying their camp chairs. There were a lot of people already sitting and waiting for the concert to begin. Mr. Nelson walked to the middle of the stage and stood before the microphone. Good evening, friends and family. We have a great show for you tonight. So sit back, relax, and let your ears enjoy tonight's festivities. Our first act is a violin solo with Morgan. Come on up here, Morgan. Show 'em what you got. The crowd applauded as the little girl with pigtails walked to the microphone and began playing her violin. She was pretty good, and when she finished, the crowd whistled and clapped. The little girl bowed and left the stage. There were several other acts where children sang, played instruments, and they put on a great show. Finally, Mr. Nelson came back to the stage. And now for tonight's finale. We have a group that practiced very hard to get this right, so let's give them a warm welcome. The American Band! The crowd cheered as James, Elizabeth, Kathleen, Stuart, and another little girl entered the stage. The little girl walked to the microphone while the band took their positions. Good evening, the little girl said into the microphone. My name is Allison, and since it's my birthday, I'm going to sing one of my favorite songs. The crowd clapped even harder. Some even yelled out, Happy birthday! It was her birthday after all. Mr. Nelson started first on a keyboard, and then Kathleen brought her harmonica to her lips and began. She was joined by James on the guitar, and then Elizabeth on the banjo, and finally Stuart on his guitar. Allison moved closer to the microphone and began singing with the sweetest voice. God bless America, land that I love. The men stood and removed their hats, and the women stood with their hands over their hearts. It was very moving. And then Allison finished with, God bless America, my home, sweet home. The crowd hooted and hollered. The children stood together and bowed. It was quite a night for the Halloway children. It was quite a night for everyone. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. The children got to play in a band in front of an audience. It was very exciting. I can't wait to find out what they're going to do next week. And then the following week, they're going to be home. So excited. Can't wait. Don't forget to share my stories. Thanks so much for coming in. Mwah.